Calling yourself lazy in this situation does not solve any of those barriers. It only adds shame to the assignment. Accountability, it matters because useful accountability asks what happened and what system will help me act differently next time. Here's a truth that I want you to remember. You are responsible for your next step, but you do not have to insult yourself into taking it. It is 6:30 in the evening. You have an assignment due tomorrow. You open your laptop, you read the directions, and immediately decide you should clean your desk first. Then you check one notification, you watch one short video, you rewrite the date at the top of your notes. Somehow it is 8:15 and the assignment is still waiting. Now the pressure is louder. You tell yourself, why do I always do this? I am so lazy. But what if that label is hiding the real problem? Maybe the task feels too large. Maybe you don't understand the directions. Maybe you're tired, distracted, afraid your work will not be good enough, or unsure where to begin. Today, we're turning procrastination into productivity with the Grace Study Method, which is a 5-part system that helps you begin, learn, connect, and recover without shaming yourself. Welcome to the Gracefully Growing Podcast, the place where we teach teens and young adults practical tools for navigating real life with gratitude, reflection, affirmations, connections, as well as empathy. I am Dr. Kemi, and I'm so glad that you're here. By the end of this episode, you will know how to identify the reason behind your delay. Choose a better study approach and complete a simple 5-15-5 start cycle. You will not need a perfect schedule or a sudden burst of motivation. You will need one honest reflection and one manageable next step. Parents, guardians, educators, stay with me. Near the end, I will share language that supports accountability without turning one unfinished assignment into a judgment about your young person's character. Let's go ahead and grab your journal. If you don't have a journal, grab a notebook. If you do not have a notebook, please be sure to open the Notes app on your phone so you can take some notes. If you're looking for a great journal to help you on this journey, I have written the Affirmation Gratitude Journal that is available on Amazon, and I'll be sure to post the link in the show notes. So I want you to imagine our student Jordan from last week's episode. A science assessment is coming on Tuesday. On Friday, Jordan promises I will study all weekend. Saturday passes. On Sunday afternoon, Jordan opens a study guide and sees vocabulary diagrams and several pages of practice questions. Jordan thinks, I should already know this. If I start and realize I do not understand it, that will prove I am going to fail. So Jordan closes the guide and chooses easier tasks, organizing folders, changing the study playlist, and answering messages. By Sunday night, Jordan feels guilty and panicked. The usual plan would be to stay up all night, reread everything, and hope something sticks. Instead, Jordan pauses and asks a better question. What is making this hard to start? The answer is not laziness. The answer is uncertainty. Jordan does not know which concepts are already secure and which need help. So Jordan takes 5 minutes to review the study guide, circles 3 weak areas, studies one concept for 15 focused minutes, and spends 5 minutes answering 2 practice questions from memory. The whole test is not mastered, but the spiral has been interrupted. Jordan now has evidence of what to study next and one question to take to the teacher. Let me ask you a question. When you procrastinate, are you avoiding effort or avoiding confusion, boredom, pressure, distraction, or the possibility of an imperfect result? Procrastination is a pattern. It is not an identity. Procrastination means that we delay a task even when the delay may make life harder later. It can look like doing nothing, but it can also look like doing many low priority tasks while avoiding the important one. That does not automatically tell us why the delay is happening. Common barriers include the task is vague, you know the assignment, but not the first action. The task feels too large. Your brain sees the whole project at once. The work feels uncomfortable. It is boring, difficult, or connected to self-doubt. Your environment keeps interrupting you. Alerts on your phone, noise, materials not in the right place, or people competing for your attention. Your energy or support needs are being ignored. So you may need rest, clarification, structure, or help. Calling yourself lazy in this situation does not solve any of those barriers. It only adds shame to the assignment. Accountability, it matters because useful accountability asks what happened and what system will help me act differently next time. Here's a truth that I want you to remember. You are responsible for your next step, but you do not have to insult yourself into taking it. Before you study, make your task visible. Writing down study science, that's too vague. A clear task might be use my notes to answer 5 questions about energy transformations without looking at the answers. Then I want you to shrink the start. Open the correct page. Write the first question. Place the materials you need within your reach. Put unrelated tabs and notifications away for one short, focused period. A small start is not lowering your standard. It is reducing the distance between intention and action. Once you begin, you can gather real information. Do I understand this? What should I practice? Where do I need help? So I'm asking you to start this way and ask yourself, what is the smallest action that you can do that will count as a beginning? Let's look at the grace study method. We're going to turn to the 5 principles of grace for this one, and we're going to turn it into a repeatable study method. You can write these 5 letters at the top of a study page and move through them in order, starting with gratitude. Gratitude allows you to connect the work to opportunity and purpose. You say, how? Begin with one honest reason that learning matters. Gratitude is not pretending that you enjoy every assignment. It is noticing the opportunity inside the work. So that would be access to education, a skill that you are building, a goal the course supports, or a person that is helping you to learn. So I want you to try. I am grateful I have an opportunity to understand this. The skill will help me to reach my next goal. Or I have notes and a teacher I can ask. Then translate that gratitude into action. How do you do that? You write one purpose sentence before you start any assignment. Because the thing about it is, purpose gives the task a reason beyond because I have to. For your grace action, I want you to complete this statement. This learning matters because. Then I want you to choose one outcome for today's study session. Reflection. Study the method, not just the minutes. Reflection asked two questions. What do I know? And how do I know? I know it. Time spent is not the same as learning gained. Let me say that again. Time spent is not the same as learning gained. Rereading can feel familiar without proving that you can recall or apply the idea. So I want you to use active checks. Close the notes and explain the concept. Answer a practice question. Draw the process from memory. Create an example or teach the idea aloud in your own words. Then sort the results into green. I can explain or apply this without help. Yellow. I partly understand it and need more practice. Or red. I am confused and need a new explanation or support. Reflection also happens after the session. Ask yourself, what helped me focus? Where did I get stuck? What will I change next time? Your reflection action. Use one no notes check. Let the result, not your mood, decide what you study next. Affirmation replaces self-doubt with a useful instruction. When work gets difficult, the mind may say, I am bad at this. I always fail, or there's no point starting now. Those statements describes fear as if it was a final fact. Choose an affirmation that is truthful and actionable. For example, 1. Not knowing yet tells me what to practice. 2. I can complete one focus step before I judge the whole task. 3. A difficult question is not a verdict on my ability. 4. I can prepare with integrity and ask for help. Use the affirmation when you meet resistance. Then immediately, I want you to pair it with an action. Open the note, solve the one problem, or write one question. The words direct you. The action builds evidence. Your affirmation action for today is say one believable affirmation, then act on it within 10 seconds. Connection encourages you to use people and structure wisely. Connection means you're learning with support. Ask a teacher for clarification. Compare reasoning with a classmate. Attend tutoring or form a focused study group. A good study group has a goal, time limit, and a way to check understanding. When I was in graduate school, as a matter of fact, that's how I got through graduate school. I had the best study group. We would meet on Sundays in the library. Let me tell you, it was focused 3 hours of studying. So whenever you have a study group, you guys got to have a time limit. You have to go with purpose. Otherwise, it would just be another friend group and you're just chatting and wasting time. Let's talk about what a good study group looks like. You should begin with the exact topic or questions that you're going to cover in your study group. You should let each person attempt the work before we compare answers. Explain reasoning instead of only sharing final answers. And then at the end, we name what each person will practice independently. This is real connection. And real connection also includes asking for accountability. Example, can you check whether I started at 7? Or can we each work quietly for 15 minutes and then compare what we learned? Follow your school's rules and complete your own thinking. Support should strengthen your learning, not replace it. This is your connection action. Choose one person or support resource and ask one specific question of that person. Empathy is a way for you to correct the plan without attacking yourself. You will miss a study session. That's life. You will misunderstand a concept. That's life. You may receive a grade that disappoints you. That's life. Empathy does not replace that responsibility. It just makes recovery possible. So instead of you saying, I ruined everything, I want you to try, I delayed starting. What made that likely and what can I change today? Instead of I am stupid, try this result shows which skills need more practice or explanation. Then repair the system, make the task smaller, move the phone, ask the question, adjust the time, schedule a short follow up session, rest when you genuinely need rest, and choose a clear restart time. Your empathy action invites you to use this reset sentence. I can learn from this result and choose my next useful step. Now, remember, I promised you the 5-15-5 start cycle. When you are stuck, do not promise yourself a 3 hour study transformation. Now, you and I both know that's not going to work. So, why are we playing? Use the 5-15-5 start cycle. It goes like this. For 5 minutes, prepare, define the task, gather your materials, remove one distraction, and write your purpose statement. Now, for 15 minutes, practice. Work actively on one small target. Solve, recall, explain, draw, or write. Do not only stare at the page. And then for 5 minutes, prove and plan. Complete a no notes check. Mark green, yellow, red, and write the next action. As a quick reminder, green means I can explain and apply without help. Yellow means I partly understand it and need more practice. And red means I am confused and I need a new explanation or support. After your 25 minutes, decide intentionally. Do I want to continue with another cycle? Take a short planned break in which you could go for a walk, dance, drink some water, ask for help, or stop because today's target is complete. This method is designed to create momentum and information. It is not to make you work without limits. So let's talk about the cycle. 5 minutes to prepare, 15 minutes to practice, and 5 minutes to prove and plan. It's time for today's anonymous question. Today's anonymous question says, I make a study plan, but I never follow it. Does that mean I just do not have discipline? First of all, thank you for your question. Let me answer by saying this. Not necessarily. A plan can fail because it is too large. A plan can fail because it is too vague, too ambitious, badly timed, or disconnected from how you actually learn. So discipline matters, but discipline works better when the plan is realistic and visible. So I want you to review your last plan without judgment. Did study for 2 hours? Did you schedule work when you usually have enough energy? Did you include materials, breaks, practice, and help? Did you plan for distractions or simply hope they would disappear? I want you to build a smaller promise you can keep. So for example, you can say at 6:30, I will put my phone across the room and complete 1-5-15-5 cycle on equations at the kitchen table. When that cycle ends, record what happened and choose the next step. Consistency grows through kept appointments, reflection, and adjustments, not through one perfect week. Now, for the parents, guardians, coaches, and mentors, when a young person procrastinates, begin with curiosity and clear expectations. Avoid labels such as lazy, irresponsible, or unmotivated. Those labels can create defensiveness without identifying the barrier. Try this. Show me where you got stuck. What does finished look like? Or with structure, clarification, quiet space, or a check in help you start. Then agree on one observable next action and a reasonable time to revisit it. My now 14-year-old, this is what I used to do with him. I literally would sit with him when he struggled with getting started on an assignment. And I've said this before. I would sit with him and we would talk through the assignment. I'm not doing the assignment for him. I don't do that, but I help him get started. What you then do with a young person is you want to praise the process specifically. So you want to say something like, great job, you broke that project into manageable steps. You tested yourself instead of only rereading, or you asked for help before the deadline. Because you see, specific feedback teaches young people which behaviors to repeat. Keep accountability. Because having empathy for a young person's situation is not removing every deadline or completing the work for the student. It is helping them understand the barrier, practice a strategy, and experience the result of follow through. If difficulty starting, organizing, focusing, or completing work is persistence across settings and significantly affects daily functioning, consider talking with the student, teachers, counselor, and an appropriate professional about additional support. The goal is understanding and access, and not a label used as blame. Here is your challenge for this week, the 7-day Grace Study Challenge. I want you to create one Grace study card and use it for 7 days. Each day, write one reason this learning matters, one concept to check without notes, one believable affirmation paired with an action, one person or resource you can use if you are stuck, one adjustment you will make without attacking yourself. Then complete at least one 5-15-5 cycle. And at the end of the week, do not ask, was I perfect? Rather, ask, what helped me start sooner, learn more actively, or recover faster? Quick question for you. Which grace step would improve your study routine most? Is it gratitude? Is it reflection, affirmation, connection, or empathy? Put your answers in the comment for me. But before you go, I want to encourage you. Remember, procrastination is something you do. It is not who you are. Your next step does not have to finish everything. It only has to move you from avoidance into learning. If this episode helped you, I invite you to subscribe to this podcast, the Gracefully Growing podcast. And I want you to share it with a student who needs a kinder, clearer way to begin. If you want continued support, building confidence, emotional resilience, and practical life skills, I am inviting you to join the Living with Grace teen program and our school community. The enrollment link is in the description. In the comments, I want you to tell me, what part of the Grace study method will you use first? Start small, study actively, adjust honestly, and keep growing with grace. And I will see you in the next episode. And remember, you got this, and I'm rooting for you. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Gracefully Growing. Thank you so much for tuning in and growing with me. Remember, living with grace means showing gratitude, taking the time for reflection, speaking powerful affirmations, building strong connections, and practicing daily empathy with yourself and others. If today's episode gave you something to think about, inspired you, or made you smile, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can also download today's free resource in the show notes and join our Gracefully Growing community on social media for more tools, encouragement, and real talk. Until next time, keep showing up for yourself, keep growing, and most of all, keep living with grace. I am Dr. Kemi. See you next week.